Hi, today I'm with one of the people on the front lines for advocating for women in the skills trade, Mr. Rob Paglia. Rob is a master electrician working in the construction industry and the owner of PowerTrax Electric Canada. He's with us today to share how gender equality can work when it comes to the skilled trades. Welcome, Rob.
Hi, how are you?
I'm great. Rob, what happened in your life that led you to first get involved with including women in the skilled trade?
So a long time ago when I was working for another company, and we had some, I was working for a larger company that had a bunch of employees working in the panel build shop and everything else. And there was, we did most of the construction electrical portion of the work in the city. And every day when we came in, there was always, we had about 100 or so people working at this facility. And there was a lot of female electricians, industrial electricians, and every day we always saw each other on a regular basis, walking in, checking in, punching in, and stuff like that. And a few times they kept asking, "Kate, can we come out to the construction side?" Mm-hmm. So, jokingly we said, "Yeah, if you guys can handle it." There was always that stereotype and everything else that. So the joke was always, if you guys can handle the stress and everything, because you're in a nice cozy environment here. And sure enough, there was a few of them that wanted to try it, so we took them on, and they tagged along with us on service calls and everything. And from that point on, it was always they always excelled in in wanting to learn and everything else. So it just became second nature for us to. I would always take one with me whenever we were working or whoever was available, and give them the opportunity. And from there, it was just, hey, you know what? They can do the work just as well as anyone else, so there's no reason why they shouldn't be with us. And then from there, it moved on to when I went to a second shop and eventually started my own, and then I just continued on from there.
And you still wanted to be a part of the big show?
Yeah.
Good job. So what would you say has been the biggest challenge for women in the skilled trade setting?
I think the biggest challenge was always the intimidation factor of coming out to the job sites and being around an environment where it was all male dominated. But working with us and kind of like showing them it's okay to be out there with us, and don't be afraid, just let's do what we have to do. And in a short period of time, they all gained the respect that they deserved. And nobody guessed, second guessed it or anything. We just went with the flow, and our work was getting done properly and efficiently. And they just became one of the guys, one of the team.
Right. Okay. So have there ever been situations where maybe one of the workers have had a problem being a female working in your industry in that particular setting?
For the most part, I would say no. I'm sure there was, they were nervous going into certain environments and stuff like that. But like I said, whether they were with me or I sent them with one of my journeymen or anything like that, they were always safe in their surroundings. And we always told them right from the beginning, if you ever, don't feel comfortable in any scenario, just let us know, walk away or do something. We always had their backs and everything, so never an issue. And I think the biggest hurdles were more on the, for lack of like washrooms and stuff on the job sites, because it was always geared more to men, so there was never any portables or anything like that. So we would just let them hop in the van and go to closest restaurant or anywhere they felt comfortable going to, where they can just do it, not use the site facilities unless it was set up for that scenario.
Right. Do you find that more sites are now becoming more accommodating, making sure that
it is much more. Everywhere we go, it's more accommodating, and it's beginning to be the norm the way it should be. But it has improved very much in the past couple of years.
Right. So if I was a young woman working in the skills trade, and how do you promote self-advocacy with them So, like, I mean, you've already taken steps to ensure that they feel comfortable and safe in their work environment. But, like, say that wasn't the case, and then they might have to be advocated for or become across a different scenario in this situation. How would you tell them to, like, respond to that? How would you tell them to advocate for themselves?
So we strongly, I mean, we work together with West, and that's a major part. So we were able to bring them in and have them start off on the smaller jobs, and we give them a broad experience of all the different avenues and work areas. So we just tell them, you know, as you go with the flow. You know, don't be same thing I like to tell everybody, right? It doesn't matter how big the challenge is. Mm-hmm. Just look at it as one small challenge and you'll overcome it in no time. So don't be intimidated by anything. Know that you can do it. Have that positive attitude and go for it. And then from there, it automatically just finds a way to work out, and they seem to fit in. And we've had excellent success with the female apprentices we have. We currently have 3 on staff now.
Yeah.
Two are in their last phase of their apprenticeship to get their license. And the third one, also from West, she's an apprentice, electrical apprentice that just started, but very apt at what she's doing and everything, and willing to do, get in the trenches with the guys and everything. So it's working out very well. So
what would a woman kind of need in that field to shine in that field? Like, what would make them stand out as a great employee?
The easiest thing to do is just to go in and do your job as same as everyone else. Like, that's what they would need. They just need that confidence. Make sure they continue to have that confidence in what they're doing and in the work that they're performing, and everything will just fall into place after that. Because once they have that, like I said, there's no stopping them from there.
So what kind of results have you personally seen as a result of pushing women to be moved into the skilled trades field?
Some of the advantages that we've seen here is it's reassuring walking onto different sites and private, where we do residential calls into homes and stuff like that, or even commercial sites and offices. When we have the female apprentices there, we always get good feedback. They're happy to see females in the trade, and just give them a whole nother attitude. So there's a lot of times where, to our advantage, where we have to do work in public facilities where it might be we do work at an all-female gym, whereas before we had to go during set times and schedule and everything else, because the man's in the building and everything else. So the shoes and the roles were reversed. So we were restricted, but now I can send my female apprentices and journey person out to do the call instead of the guys.
Great. So it's kind of opening up more doors for everybody.
Absolutely.
For this and for the people that's participating.
That's correct.
So in what kind of dollars and cents are we talking about? Say from the beginning wages of the local apprentice to once they finish training and they become full-fledged electrician, I guess you'd say.
So the advantage of our trade is once you start with us, we bring you in. So we start right at the beginning level. So we take co-op students as well from high school and give them the opportunity to start off in the basic training. So anybody that comes in on volunteer training for a week or a month or whatever the case is, they'll start there. And then once we hire them, it ranges anywhere between minimum wage all the way up to $30 an hour, depending on their apprenticeship level.
That's really good. And then from there, is there like if they're more specialized, would it go up higher? If
there's, I mean, the options are endless. It depends on, there's so many different avenues in electrical. They can, so we have them do a little bit of everything and see where their strong points are and what they prefer doing. And then we kind of work and nurture that area there, and keeping them involved in all the other stuff. So they get a broad spectrum of training, but they can get into industrial electrical, commercial robotics, anything, retail electrical, residential electrical. So pay grade is based on knowledge, right? So the more they learn, the more valuable they become.
Awesome. Also, that kind of leads into the next question, though. So like they get an opportunity to try all these different kinds of electrical. But if you notice that one of them might have a skill in a particular area, would you help to steer them towards that? So it's more like their interests, their strengths, so that they would be more confident in their position.
Absolutely. So we had, I'll just use an example. We had one female apprentice that started out with us in the construction, and we do industrial, residential, commercial, institutional. So we're in schools. We're all over the place.
Mm-hmm.
And I'll always go back on them and ask them, are you comfortable? Do you enjoy what you're doing in the area you're working in? Is it suitable? Is it what you expected? In the one particular case, she wanted to get more into industrial. And robotics and stuff. So we reached out to another company that was more involved into that area, and we kind of led her into that area. They took her on, and she continued from there.
Wow, I like hearing success stories. That's great. What would say you meet a young girl or women who may have never used a power tool or even thought about becoming an electrician? How would you kind of convince them to try that out as an avenue of a job or a career?
You know what? The same concept that I taught my daughter when she was little. I'd always have her working with outside if we were doing something. We're building a shed or we're building the deck and everything. And I think she was probably 5 years old. I gave her my cordless drill, put her safety glasses on and everything, and showed her how to use it. And she nailed it the first time, right? And I told her, I said, even if you don't ever want to touch a drill again, I want to teach you how to use it. So down the road, you know, you can see it, feel it. You might decide to go into this career or something else, to whatever the trade might be or whatever your path takes you. At least you'll have that confidence in knowing that you can do it.
That's really good. So this comes to the end of our interview. And I just want to thank you very much, Rob, for participating today. We really appreciate you being one of our champions for local women and partnering with West. It was really a pleasure to talk to you today.
Thank you so much. It's a pleasure to be part of the great program that you guys offer.
Thank you, Rob.
Take care. Be safe.
3.
For Women's Enterprise Skills Training, I'm Lillian Gallant. Please share your success stories with us by visiting our webpage, westofwindsor.com. We are here to help and change lives for the better. And if you're looking for some help with employment or training, please email us at info@westofwindsor.com.